What's up, ballers? It's Bobby Buckets here with a special tutorial episode for NBA Live Mobile. So I know a while ago I did a video on hidden ratings, but it's been a while, and also, sorry, we do have some new information on hidden stats for NBA Live Mobile players. So first thing you're going to need to do if you want to find the hidden stats for your player is go to nbalive.gg. The website is basically, they get direct information from EA about stats for the players, hidden stats, all this stuff. So for this example, I'm going to be using Bob Cousy because he's one player that if you look at his card in the game, he looks like a really terrible player. So yes, he has decent speed and good dribbling and passing, but all of his other stats are pretty much terrible. So looking at those stats, you wouldn't think that he's a 91 overall card, but whenever you look at the hidden stats, you begin to understand why he got that rating. So if you look down here, you can see all these stats that you would never be able to see in the game. And they're really helpful for understanding why players play the way they play, what their strengths are, which players you should pick over others based on what lineup you have, etc., etc. So looking at Bob's hidden stats, you can see his agility is 91, conditioning 95, so both of those have to do with speed and ability to keep up. His clutch rating is 90, which means he's going to be better towards the end of a quarter or the end of a game. Court vision is 98. So a lot of that has to do with passing, and some of these I'm probably going to get wrong, but there actually is something that we're going to go over at the end of the video talking about the exact meaning of all of these different things. So you can see there's a lot of these things you probably wouldn't understand just by looking at them. So obviously dunk rating is a 25. It's terrible. We're not really looking at him for his dunk rating, but that's basically, okay, chances that they're going to do a cool dunk or dunk on somebody or something like that. So obviously Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, Vince Carter, those kind of guys have really high dunk ratings. He's got a 91 for drawing offensive foul, 90 for fast break anticipation, 91 for go-to guys, so if you need a bucket, give him the ball, he's probably going to score. 90 for hands on the perimeter, meaning I'm not sure if that's offensively or defensively, but either he's going, I don't think it's that he's going to have a good chance at getting a steal because there's a separate steal stat. His is only a 75, so hands on perimeter I'm guessing probably means his ability to hold the ball and not get it stolen. 95 layup dunk aggressiveness, so he's going to go to the basket as opposed to kind of taking a little fadeaway floater, which can get really, really annoying in game. 92 layup in traffic, so he's going to be able to make layups through people even if there's tough defense. He's got 95 pass accuracy, which helps a lot, especially in tough defense. 95 penetration effectiveness, so he's going to have an easier time getting to the basket. All these different stats are really important in knowing whether or not you want to pick up a player, especially later on in the game when you're only coming down to 1 or 2 differential in overall and you're trying to pick players. So if you go on over, this is actually a wiki for NBA Live. So obviously there are going to be some stats that differentiate just because the game functions differently, but for the most part these all function pretty much the same since both games are made by EA and they're both NBA Live games. One of them's just mobile, so there are a couple that aren't going to come into effect. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I know there are a couple that I saw. I don't think acceleration is one that you have in NBA Live Mobile because for the most part players kind of have the same speed throughout the game. Recovery quickness, some of these other stats they don't have all that much, but some of them you do have. So we don't have putbacks, but we do have dunk versus layup frequency. So much like the slider, this rating determines whether a player is more likely to attempt a dunk or layup. The higher the slider, the more likely a player is to dunk, while a low rating will result in more layups. So going back to Bob, I believe, yeah, dunk versus layup frequency, so 35. So he has a good chance of making the basket, but based off that, you see that he's a lot more likely to do a layup as opposed to trying to dunk the ball. So there are some really, really important ones that we're going to see, and I'm going to go over more of these in a future episode, but you can see different things. Blocking and stealing you can't see based off of just the person's rating on the auction house, so you can go here to check on those. Dribbling, passing speed, we have all of those in NBA Live Mobile. Jumping also goes a lot into their ability to dunk. Inside scoring is another one that we have. Dunk rating, obviously. If you want good dunkers on your team, this website is a good place to go. And also there's actually a spreadsheet. Let me try to find that real quick.
2,000 years later.
Alright guys, we're here with J.K. Balling's 2016 NBA Live Mobile Workbook. So he's a really active member on NBALive.gg. So shout out to him for making this. It's really, really helpful for finding the best players for certain ratings. So obviously for all these different stats, you're going to have to go and look up some of the abbreviations and what they mean. And I had to open this up in the Excel app instead of in my browser because you can't actually sort by different ratings in your browser. But if you look at all these different things, he's got every single stat in the game, and you can really find out a lot of useful things from this workbook. So going over to the beginning, you can find out what their true overall is. So what that means is basically if we sort by descending, it'll give us the highest true overalls. So this is averaging together every single hidden stat. So Master Russell Westbrook has the highest true overall of all the players, excluding the 98 overalls, with a 95.95. So that means if you average together every single one of his stats, it would give you almost a 96. So technically he's still the best player in the game outside of the league versus league players if you're just looking at overall. So you can look at these different things. I know what some of these mean. So these first 6 are the ones that you see on cards in game. So TPT is 3-point, DRI, dribbling, speed is SPD, shooting is SHT, defense is DEF, and passing is PAS. And looking at some of these other ones, so you can see agility, clutch, conditioning. I'm not going to know what all of these mean. Let's see, defensive rebounding, I know, oh no, DRI is dribbling, defensive rebounding, I think is DRS, it's DRS or DRQ, but you can search. So if we sort these, sort by descending, so yep, this is probably defensive rebounding statistic maybe, I don't know. But you can see which players. Bobby Portis actually with a surprisingly high one. You kind of expect Wilt Chamberlain to be up there, but if your team is really struggling with rebounding, then I would go to this stat. There's actually probably a base rebounding stat closer to the end. Starts with an R. Nope, maybe not. But you can look at people's steal ratings. Especially if you're trying to get steals for achievements in league versus league. So Muggsy Bogues, high steal rating in the game. Unfortunately, he's for the small ball lineup, so that's not going to do a whole lot for your defensive lineup. But you could pick up Gary Payton for your point guard, and he will get you a bunch of steals. Honestly, I probably need to do that if I want to get League Master Paul George anytime soon. You can also go over to their block rating, which I probably need to do because I'm having a really hard time getting blocks. And let's see, I'm not sure which one of these is a block rating actually. I thought it would start with a B. I know DKR is dunk rating, so if you want to sort that, you can see who the best dunkers are in the game. So number 1, Dominique Wilkins, got him. Number 2, Vince Carter, used to have him. Larry Nance Jr. actually with one of the highest dunk ratings. I'm guessing that's his big moments card where he got the card for his nasty dunk on, I don't remember who it was on, but he has a crazy high dunk rating. Then another Dominique Wilkins card, Daryl Dawkins. Spud Webb, who's actually 5'8" or 5'10", but he won the dunk contest way back when. So there's a lot of really helpful stats in here, and you can go look up what the abbreviations stand for on NBALive.gg. You can see free throw. I don't know. There's so many different ratings. I don't even have time to go through all of them. But I'm going to put the link to this down in the description if you guys want to check it out. There's also themed lineups, so if you want to do a specific theme lineup, I can't get it to work for the select an NBA team because I just go to the box and nothing pops up. But if you want to look at top lineups, you can look at the best overall focused or ability focused or stat focused two-way lineups, as well as small ball, defensive, big man, all this stuff. So it even tells you, so top overall for each players at each position for overall ability totals, for best all-around gameplay experience. Honestly, I would go to that one if you want to maximize your lineup really, and that's actually pretty close to what I have. I don't have Chris Paul in because he's Ghost of Christmas, obviously, but pretty close to what I would have. And then top stat totals at each position. So for the most skilled team across all stats regardless of relevance, go for that one. And then you can also do player comparisons. So lineup and position, player, you can look at all their different comparisons and overalls to find out which players are going to help you the most in different lineups. So this is really the most useful tool that you can use if you want to really maximize your lineup for hidden stats. But that's going to be about it for this episode. Let me know if you guys have questions, because I'm sure there's lots of stuff that I missed, and I'm going to have more episodes on this in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys next time.